My name is George Martin, Comrade George Martin, the Secretary of the Rossing Branch, Mine Workers Union.
And George, why don't you talk about your this upcoming arbitration that you're going to be having on Monday, February 15th, what's going to be happening there, and why this arbitration is important for not just workers of Namibia, but workers around the world.
Steve, I'll start by saying that the fate of the union lies with this arbitration meeting, because we want to show to the world that the rights of workers matter, and it's very important that the arbitration meeting goes well, because we are fighting for the workers' rights, especially when workers are unfairly dismissed without using any procedures that are there. And we want to show to the world that corporate companies cannot get away with just destroying the union. So we have to fight against them, so that we stand up and show them that the union still exists. That is the main thing there.
And when this company, which is Chinese owned by the state, it's a state national uranium company, when they bought the mine, the Rossing uranium mine, they promised that they would go along or accept the labor provisions, the union laws and union rights of the workers at the mines. But you're saying that they violated that, flagrantly violated that.
Yeah, no, since the start, since they took over the company, the 68%, the majority shareholding at Rossing, their main aim was to renegotiate every possible agreement that is there. They started off saying that the recognition agreement, it was outdated, but they wanted us to renegotiate it because it was signed in 1988, November 14th, November 1988, saying that it was outdated. Now we are saying, we told them that, tell us what is in this agreement that is outdated, and maybe we look at that. And our labor law is very clear. Our Labor Act is very clear in saying that you cannot change an agreement to a less favorable agreement. So their aim was to remove the very rights of the union and the members in that agreement and change it to their style, which we totally fought against, and we said we are not going to do that.
And also you had the issue of the company bringing in Chinese workers without a proper approval, and also that these workers had even worse labor conditions than the workers, Namibian workers. Is that true?
Come again, Steve?
They brought in Chinese workers improperly without approval to take positions at the mine, and that these workers had worse working conditions, labor conditions than Namibian workers as far as hours that they worked.
About the hours and worse conditions, that we still have to verify, but they brought in Chinese workers without following the proper channels and proper agreements that are there. The four Chinese nationals were given senior positions in the structures of Rossing, of which we are not aware of their qualifications and their skills that they have. In fact, Rossing and the union and the Mine Workers Union have an agreement that says that when foreign nationals come to Rossing, there's a certain procedure that they need to follow, an agreement that they need to follow, which is called the secondment and the understudy agreement, of which was not followed because the union must be involved in that. Number one, the union has to sign a support letter or write a support letter that says that the union is in agreement that the foreign nationals are coming to work for the mine. And then number two, when foreign nationals come and work at Rossing, the number of foreign nationals that come, Namibians must also go to the other. It's an exchange program that happens, and that has never happened, Steve.
And you are saying that you're at this arbitration, you're urging other workers in Namibia to come together. That in fact, the corruption and takeover of other, like the fishermen losing their positions as a result of corrupt deals with the Minister of Justice of Namibia and Minister of Fisheries, that this corruption within Namibia is preventing the workers from having a decent living condition.
Yeah.
So it's what are you saying that your struggle is not just about the mining workers, but also all the workers and
Yes.
people of Namibia?
Yeah. What we have to remember, Steve. Currently, our unemployment rate is very high. If I speak under correction, it's about plus minus 50% plus that the country is facing unemployment rate. And then when you look at the fishing sector, it was hit hard during the 2018 years. We talk about 48,000 plus minus 48,000 people that lost their jobs because of corruption. And currently, as we are talking now, our situation was because of corruption. We have corrupt union leaders in the Mine Workers Union, the national union, that sold us to the company. That's why we are sitting here. Our general secretary the company wrote a letter to the general secretary of the Mine Workers Union of Namibia, of which they asked him whether we had permission from the national office to appoint a lawyer. Now, if you look at this, Steve, how does the company have the right to question whether a branch has a right to appoint a lawyer? And these are two juristic persons. The union is a juristic person on its own. The company is a juristic person on its own. What the company does in its affairs, the union does not have a right to question that. Now, having said that, our general secretary responded that we had no permission. Now, when you look at our constitution, Steve, our constitution is very clear. It says that the branch will run its affairs as it sees fit. Now, when you talk about running affairs, you appoint lawyers. When you put in disputes, you don't go to the head office to say, I want to put in a dispute against a company, and then the head office approves. No, the branch runs its affairs as it sees fit. Now, again, when you look at how the general secretary responded to the company's question, that gave the company the muscles to, or the right to deal with us because of the answer they got from the general secretary. And that is a form of corruption that we see. And inside with that, we even informed the regional chairperson of our visit to appoint the lawyer, and he agreed. But when he was asked by the general secretary, he denied us. He denied the branch asking him for advice. You see there, Steve. So it's a form of corruption that is within the union structure as well. And coming back again to the fishermen. The fishermen was also it's a form of the union that made them that made them lose part of their jobs also. But we are working together with the fishermen and the dock workers of Namibia that also lost their jobs. And there's another comrade from Elgin Brown. He's also working with us, and we are getting the support of the workers from all over.
So this issue is an issue for the entire working class of Namibia.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Your struggle is connected to the struggle of all workers of Namibia. And
Yes,
you will be
yes.
having a press conference on the 15th before the hearing, the arbitration.
Yes.
Now, the Chinese National National Nuclear Corporation, which owns or which controls the mine now, they allowed an election, or the union
Yes.
had an election at the
Yeah.
company and elected a new chair. What happened to that new chair that was elected after the
Yeah.
removal of yourself and other union members?
Yeah, I want to touch on that, Steve. Yes, you see what happened there is when we were dismissed on the 28th, 29th of September, um, the management has relations with the regional structures of the Mine Workers Union and the General Secretary. Now, they formed a coalition to own the branch structures. So they had their own members vouching or applying for positions in the branch, while the true unionism or the union members also had members. Now the branch, the regional structures wanted to to fight away the members that we put up. Because we put up a, a temporary structure that can run the branch while we are fighting the fight outside. So the regional structures help the company to say that it's not a legitimate structure. They have to have election. So they had their elections, and the members that we put up as temporary members won the seats to become office bearers in the branch. Now, the company did not, or the management did not like that, because now they don't have relations with these people. So they cannot sign off any agreements or anything. They cannot do any dubious things. So they started plotting against the branch chairperson. What happened there? He, the branch chairperson had a case with another company about 4 or 5 years back, which was already settled in that time. So the company went to dig up the information that about this the chairperson, and then they found something against him, and then they put up charges on him, or they suspended him on those allegations. What happened? He was dismissed about 3 weeks ago by the HR manager, or general acting HR general manager Germano Musili, without having a hearing. He was just dismissed with a letter that was sent to him to say that his contract was being terminated. Now we I was telling myself, even the worst criminal in society or in our community goes through a trial. He does not just get sent to jail, but he has to face a trial for him to be sentenced. Now, what is so special about this case? If they can just fire and hire people, disciplinary policy talks about everyone that is offended should have a fair trial or a fair hearing, and that has not happened. This is now what I'm telling you, Steve. These people mean serious business, and they want to do serious illegal things here at Rossi.
And we're talking with George Martin, who is secretary of the Namibia Mine Workers Union Rossing branch. And he has been, along with his brothers involved in a fight to get their jobs back against the illegal retaliation by the Chinese National Nuclear Corporation. And your union is has issued an appeal to the president of China, President Xi Jinping, to rectify this and to stop this union busting that is going on at your mine by this company, which is run by the state of China.
As you rightfully said, it's true. We wrote a letter to the Chinese president, Comrade Xi. We want solidarity, and we want these decisions that the people that is sent to Namibia, these agents, to be brought to book, because they are busy with illegal things and things that are not following our labor laws in Namibia. My comrade Johannes Hamutenya will read the letter, the chairperson, and we can take it from there.
My name is Johannes Hamutenya. I am the dismissed CNNC Rossing Uranium MUN chairperson. So to bring our demise to the attention of the Chinese president as we are on the opinion that the executives that were assigned to CNNC Rossing Uranium operate under the direct supervision of the Chinese government, of which the head of the government is the president. So it is then proper for us to say he needs to intervene in our struggle. He needs to pronounce himself as far as this barbarism that was committed against us is concerned. We are seeking his intervention, immediate intervention, so that we are reinstated in our jobs. Dear Comrade President Xi Jinping, we greet you in the name of solidarity to the Chinese working class. In Africa, there is a thread that connects us together. We believe in an African adage that says, Muntu, Muntu, Movantu. Directly translated, it says, a person is a person because of persons. It was never the rabbit or the tortoise. It was never the lion or the ant. It was always all about the community, sharing and caring for one another. That is why, although we are the mother of civilization, it was never used to colonize others. We always strove to be one people on smaller and large scale. That to us, Mr. President, is communism. And particular socialism. That ideology widens our arms to welcome citizens of the world in their various forms as brothers and sisters in both macroeconomics as investors. Mr. President, under Rio Tinto, as employees of Rossing Uranium Limited, we were part of the greater Rio Tinto and enjoyed the sound relationship characterized by humanity, respect, and mutual benefit for both employee and employers. Under Rio Tinto, there was compliance with all the legislative provisions. We coexisted and enjoyed industrial relations, industrial stability, peace, and harmony. We always strived and looked forward to another better tomorrow. A notion and an ideology that seemed alien to Chinese government employees assigned to Rossing Uranium Limited as management under the Chinese government watch. Although continuity of employment was under threat as Rio Tinto sought to diversify, the announcement that Chinese-owned company were the new majority shareholders terrified and sent shockwaves to employees, negating employees to demand a payout from Rio Tinto before CNNC takes over. However, Rio Tinto assured employees that CNNC was carefully selected. It is a Chinese company with high level of ethics, and that we should be rest assured they will be a good employer, a dream we had awakened from. We can only conclude that if that was image, then it seemed that during the selection, the clause were retracted, because immediately upon arrival, we started receiving requests to renegotiate agreement that we had enjoyed over many years under Rio Tinto. They perpetually demanded the changing of employment conditions to less favorable and the revocation of existing procedural or recognition agreements, leave days, sick leave days, recruitment policy, and the performance and conduct procedure, the disciplinary code. As Namibians, Mr. President, the least we can get for the many exploitation of our natural resources is decent employment. Not slavery, not victimization, not exploitation, not abuse, not intimidation, and not unbearable conditions. During the diplomatic meetings, we were repeatedly reminded of the role the people of the Republic of China played during the fight of the war for our liberation, or independence, in other words, against the lawlessness, discrimination, economic slavery, corruption, abuse of power, autocracy, dictatorship, and colonization. It seems to us that the savior, which is the Chinese people or the Chinese government, have become the killer. As it seems more of changing of hands from a hyena to a tiger. There's no difference between the dark dispensation and this deplorable, exploitative, draconian, iron fist, dehumanizing treatment that we were subjected to as union leaders. And for the management of Rossing Uranium Limited to stoop to such low, cheap, and uncalled for tactics just to get rid of us, putting the workers through the very oppressing system that our forefathers fought through the struggles. Mr. President, your Chinese nationals at Rossing Uranium Limited profess to be people of peace. But it's not so in its real sense, but rather martial laws. Do as the master says, and ruling by inflicting fear. That is exactly what the Chinese management assigned to Rossing Uranium Limited did to us, without a single ethical, emotional, or humanitarian consideration. We are left to question the real advancement of the Chinese management. Can it be that we are dealing with the coded machines under instruction to destroy? It further seems when we rejected bribe advances from Mr. Feng, we became meat. It is a shame that the next uprising in Namibia or Greater Africa or the world is an uprising against the Chinese colonization. The Chinese ambassador to Namibia committed that Rossi will operate for many years. We never knew it will come at the price of slavery. Your citizens deployed as management orchestrated our dismissal at all costs. They started by threatening us, writing letters of instruction to the union head office to discipline us, threatening to remove our agreement and privileges, and finally touching us and our family by fabricating charges on witch hunt tactics, doing everything in their power against all odds to dismiss us. We, the 9 dismissed employees, have an average of 142 people that directly depend on us, month to month. We bought cars, houses, clothing, and furniture on credit. Some of our kids were attending private schools, being driven every day to schools by ourselves or taxis. Today, we are not able to provide for our families, just as today we are not able to provide for our families, just because of exercising union rights as represented of employees as per the Labor Act 11 of 2007 and procedural or recognition agreement of 14 November 1998 and the Namibian Constitution. Under Rio Tinto, Rossi was always an employer of choice. However, under the Chinese majority ownership, it has become an employer of no choice and unemployment. Comrade Xi-Jinping, communism that you and the good people of China stand for is about community, the people and their welfare. The action of your citizens not only threatens the stability, sovereignty, constitutionalism, but also the already detestable name, not only of your people, but nation. The hate and distaste will continue to rise. If you as a chief in command does not take a stand of humanity against the humanitarian crime that your people have committed against us. Alert it's your instruction to subdue, conquer, eliminate others, and enslave others. If it is not, then we seek your solidarity stance. Your intervention to resolve our employment, your intervention to restore our employment, and equally pronounce a word to your people at Rossi Uranium Limited and the Greater Namibia to refrain from mistreating Namibian people. Although we believe that you will act, time is against us, as we do not know how long it will take for this letter to get to you. If ever and when will you act? Our families and us are in their need of survival. We are sowing in the wind, hoping and sitting for a ground harvest. Our names have been made dirty and tarnished. Getting employment in Namibia is almost impossible. It is the same as expecting a chicken to grow teeth. Therefore, re-employment looks like the only option that can happen if you intervene. Meanwhile, as we eagerly await your imminent intervention, we appeal to the international communities, unions in Africa, America, Australia, Russia, United Kingdom, South and North America, in China, in Asia, and to all non-governmental organizations, etc., to help us to fight this modern colonialization or colonialism and slavery. We have always understood that we We have always understood that we stood in solidarity with the Chinese working class. We understood that China was a workers' state, a major resource to the world's working class. As capitalism freed the capitalists to enslave and exploit the working class in the open market, we understood the workers, states of Russia and China would be resource for freeing the working class from capitalist repression, oppression, and exploitation. We did not expect that the gains which this African working class had won after such brutal capitalism exploitation through the most heinous forms of racial deprivation, we would now stand before an absolute destruction of the gains we had fought for and sacrificed so much for more than a century. On this basis, we beseech you, Mr. President, to intervene, restore our rights, and assist us to entrench our union and legal rights further. We beseech you, call the Rossing management to order. Yours comradely, the 9 dismissed Rossing Branch Executive Committee. Thank you.